Well, welcome back to the channel, and welcome to the latest and probably one of the last in my series of videos about how to pass an advanced bike test. And in this video I'm going to look at 4 final elements which I think we can sum up quite nicely in one video. We don't need to do separate videos about them. So we're going to look at human factors and concentration, we're going to look at courtesy, we're going to look at knowledge, and we're going to look at slow manoeuvring. I've come out of my C90. It's November, but it's a nice day and there's no salt on the road, so I thought I'd give the little C90 a bit of a run, clear its throat, make sure everything's all good before I put it away for the winter. That ball into the road looks like a classic video, doesn't it? Where's the child running after it? There we are. Could have been a hazard perception test, that one, could it? So yeah, about the C90, I suppose as well on the C90 to show you that you don't need a really expensive bike to apply the principles of advanced motoring and advanced motorcycling. You don't need loads of horsepower, just 2 wheels and an engine, which is pretty much what we've got. Not sure what we'll do if the elastic band snaps, but there you go. Let's go and have a ride out on this today. So let's briefly go through those final elements. And the first one I said I was going to look at was human factors and concentration. So let me ask you a question. Do you need to be concentrating 100% all of the time when you're riding a motorcycle on the road? The easy answer to that question is yes, you should. But I'm just going to challenge that a little bit now. I'm perfectly capable of riding this motorcycle whilst examining somebody on an advanced bike test, watching what they're doing, thinking about what they're doing, making mental notes. I'm not 100% concentrating on my riding. I am giving it some concentration and some thought, but it's not taking all of it. I'm able to come out on my bike and make these videos, talk to you, give a bit of a commentary while we're driving along, talk about other things. The riding itself is not taking 100% of my concentration. So I think the answer to that question is, conditionally, is a no, you don't. What you do need to do when you're riding most of the time is give it a good percentage of your concentration. It requires a lot of your attention. We've said before that we're vulnerable on the bike, and that if we get involved in an incident it's going to hurt really badly, so it needs a good level of concentration. On test I would suggest it requires a bit more additional concentration, because you're trying to perform to your best and just demonstrate what you've learnt on your test. And you've got to feel under that additional pressure as well when you're on test, which actually, think of it in the right way, will help you with your concentration. So your examiner on test is looking to see that you maintain a good level of concentration. Now it is perfectly capable to doze off a bit, not mean physically fall asleep, although it probably is possible, just to get a bit dopey on the bike, to not pay attention as much as you should do. So your examiner's looking to see that you're giving it 100% concentration, but an appropriate level of concentration while you're out on test. Now let's just link this for a moment. This human factors and concentration isn't just about concentration, it's about, so the human factors bit means recognising you're a human being, recognising that you have, you know, emotions, that we're emotional beings, you know, and we need to recognise that. So what's your temperament like? Are you getting frustrated with other drivers? Are you getting aggressive in the moves that you're making? Or are you reluctant? Are you sort of, you know, are you following everything? Are you driving really slowly? Are you terrified of everything that's going on? You know, what's your temperament? You've got to strike a balance, like we said in the previous video, between progress and restraint. And if you're just driving with restraint all the time and not balancing it out with progress, well, maybe you're a bit of a nervous rider, a bit too nervous a rider. This is an advanced riding test, remember. It's not a learner test. What about nerves? Nerves, you know, a big part of being an examiner is trying to put people at ease for the test. Because honestly, if you come on test and you're a bundle of nerves, you'll be tense, you'll be terrified of making a mistake, and it can really go against you. You know, what I say to people, try and enjoy the ride. Please try and enjoy yourself as much as you can, because that way the nerves will drop away a little bit, and if you're enjoying it, I'll get a proper view of your genuine riding and your genuine ability. If you're tense, if you're nervous, you'll be tense on the bike, it won't be smooth, your inputs will be rough. Some people turn up and they're fine, they're not the nervous types. Other people turn up and I spend quite a bit of time trying to put them at their ease. Remember, the worst thing that can happen on one of these tests is you go away with what you've already got. Not going to take your licence off you. You're doing it for you, and whatever happens, you're better than you were when you started. So what else human elements is about just controlling your nerves and making sure that you're not, you know, whatever nerves you've got, and there's nothing wrong with a bit of nerves, it'll help you concentrate, help you focus, but don't let it affect your ride too much. So what about courtesy? There's a balance to be struck with courtesy. It's quite often you see people, you know, giving misplaced courtesy, letting everybody out of every side junction and every side road because they think they're being everybody's mate, when actually the line of traffic behind them is getting cheesed off. So as far as an advanced riding test is concerned, courtesy, you know, the fact it's included on the test is a recognition that it is, and I've mentioned this before, I've used this term before, courtesy is a lubricant. It's the lubricant that allows everybody to get along the road and get on with the day and get where they're going. If you're riding in cities and busy towns, courtesy is pretty much essential. It's very important, otherwise you'll just be stuck at junctions all day. You'll never get out of a junction. So, you know, a little bit of courtesy in town is great. Once you're out on the open road, well, we're giving courtesy where it's appropriate, but courtesy as well is about recognising where we should give priority, and priority is an interesting concept. If you look in the highway code, you know, other people talk about, oh, I had right away and he had right away. There's no such thing as right away in the highway code. It'll talk about priority, it'll talk about who's you know, potentially got priority in a certain situation. Let's say a line of parked cars. So in theory, if there's a line of parked cars, it's on your side of the road, really you should be giving priority to vehicles coming in the other direction. Do you always get that priority? No, you don't. Some people either couldn't care less, don't give you that priority, or they just don't know, they just don't realise, you know. So remember, priority is given, not taken, especially on your test, but in real life as well. Real life, like it's not real life, but especially on your test, we give priority where it's appropriate, but we don't take it, we don't just assume we're going to be given priority in every situation where we should get it. Always look to see that somebody has given you that priority. And courtesy is about acknowledging when you've been given a courtesy as well. Giving a wave or a nod of the head can be frustrating sometimes, can't it, when you've let somebody through, you've given them a courtesy, but they've not thanked you for it. So either a little hand up and a little wave or a little nod of the head just to acknowledge that somebody's given you a courtesy, that's always nice. And we're marking you on it, we're marking you on whether you're being courteous and whether the courtesy you're giving is appropriate. So just strike the right balance with that. Knowledge, one of the areas you'll be marked on is knowledge. Have you got a good knowledge? You know, I tend to have a conversation quite early on, even before we get on the bike, when we're doing the pre-brief, about the system of bike control. I tell people what we're looking for and what's expected, and I'll ask them about the 5 phases of the system. What are they? What does IPSCA stand for? So there might be 1 or 2 little questions. I don't have a book of questions that I ask, okay, so there's no written test element. I'm not sitting you down, nor should any of the other examiners sit you down and get you to do a written test. However, I want you to demonstrate that you've got good knowledge of road traffic legislation, of the highway code and of roadcraft. But you'll also demonstrate your knowledge to us while we're out on the road. So I'm looking at how you respond to road signs, whether you know what the speed limits are on different areas of road, where you should position in, and how you should be applying the system of bike control. All that stuff is knowledge, and you will apply that knowledge when you're out on the road. So that is the other way that we're sort of testing your knowledge on this test. Thanks for pulling out, missus. Do you know they do that all the time on this bike? It really annoys me. They look at you and think you're doing 5 miles an hour, and I'm doing the same speed as everybody else. You could see a look at me then and pull out. Thank you very much. I'm not really annoyed. I was expecting it, but it you know, it does get your goat a little bit, doesn't it? So. And then the other element I wanted to cover in this video is slow manoeuvring. Again, there isn't a slow manoeuvring test. I'm not going to take you to a car park and have you doing slaloms around corners or anything like that. So if I get to the test venue before you, I might have a look at how you ride onto the car park. I might have a look at how you park your bike up, how you take it on and off the stand. I That's all elements of slow manoeuvring. But then when we get into situations like this, you see, if I was following you through here, I would look to see if you just keep it rolling. Alright, Paul. Hey, if you just keep it rolling, I think somebody coming up past me on the moped at the moment, having a chat. Do you keep your feet up, or are you paddling it along? Are you struggling with that low speed manoeuvring? So you don't have to look for any situations where you definitely need to demonstrate it to me. I will notice when we're travelling at these slow speeds.
What year is that?
Oh, it's about an 86, I think. It's just bloody stalled on me. Here we are. Yeah, it's an 86. You don't see many these days, do you? Alright, you see you later, Paul. I like riding this and the other old one. Get that kind of attention. Not seen one of those for ages. So yeah, your slow manoeuvring, really it's about what you're doing out on the road. Now, like I said, don't look for a situation to demonstrate it to me in. And don't make an effort to crawl up to every set of traffic lights with your feet up. You know, if there's a set of lights and they're on red, get up to them, stop. In the normal way. But if we're in a line of slow moving traffic, or there's another reason to be going very slowly, then I'll be able to assess your slow manoeuvring skills, whether you keep your feet up, whether you look tidy on the bike. I've ever used the horn on this before. I do love this bike. Beautiful. And then of course when we get back to the test venue, I'll be watching how you stop, park the bike, put it on its stand. Whether you do that in a safe and controlled manner, that's all important. So just be conscious, just remember, just as you ride back to the venue, back to the car park where we started from, the test isn't over. So you're off the bike, you've turned it off and it's parked up safely. Remember that. So that's it for this video. It's those final elements I just wanted to tidy up to complete this little series of videos. And that's it, that's the series complete, apart from one thing. Now there is one more video in this series. We got permission from IAM to film a test, and I'm going to show you an actual test underway. And hopefully you'll be able to see it from the other side as well, because the candidates filmed it, they're a YouTuber. And that should round up this series of videos nicely. But I hope you've enjoyed it, I hope you've got something out of this. I hope it's encouraged you, if you haven't already, to undertake a course of instruction. It's coming into winter now, so you know, if you start making the inquiries with your local IM or ROSPA groups now and get it lined up for spring, next year could be the year that you really significantly improve your riding. And if you improve your riding, you enjoy it more. The more training you do, the better you get at it, the more relaxed you are on the bike, the more you're likely to enjoy it. And that's what it's all about, isn't it? Enjoying your riding. I will do one other little video as well, a little bit later on in the year or early next year, where we look at the IAM Masters program. So Masters is a harder test, a longer test. It's the same skills, same abilities, but there's a bit more emphasis on progress and overtaking and cornering and things like that. And I get a lot of people asking me about Masters, so I will make a video about that. So if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and you'll get a notification when that video and all the other videos are uploaded. So as usual, don't forget to go and visit the website ragelocal.com. Loads more information there about advanced and performance driving and riding, information about the books that I've written. You can get a hold of a copy from Amazon. I know you can get a day's drive or rider coaching with me, or half a day if you fancy it. Come over, ride out on some of these roads. Maybe not on the C90, I might not keep up with you. But drop us a line and we'll see if we can sort something out for you. I'll give us a follow on Twitter as well, @RageLocal. But for now, thanks very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed the video and this series of videos. We'll see you next time.